I think we should change the name on TikTok. It shouldn't be immigration.
I haven't changed the. We haven't done on TikTok yet. Hey, give us a second, everybody. Projector output. Apply. There we go. And we are going to go live.
Oh, you got to run the intro, so.
Yeah. Go live.
You could have tagged me in the live.
Oh.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I think that'd be better because I have that you can say you're going live with me.
Hold on. We'll tag you on the uploaded video.
Okay.
We are, however. All right, we're live everywhere. Hey, how's it going, everyone?
Good morning. Let's get it going.
Let me run the intro.
And now, this week's Habari News Weekly with Damon Dipling Ellison. Sponsored by Habari Entertainment News.
That was the intro?
Yeah, there we go.
Good morning, good morning. We're thrilled to bring you the latest edition of Habari Live, your go-to podcast for the pulse of Phoenix and beyond. Like always, we are all the way live from Paradise Valley in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm Damon Dipling Ellison and my co-host,
Iysha.
We will be your guide through the exciting stories and everyday happenings in your vibrant community, your weekly dose of inspiration, innovation, and insightful conversations from the heart of our city. Habari Live, where we bring you engaging conversation and inspiring stories from remarkable individuals making a difference in our community. Today, we have Iysha Wedderburn. She is the owner of
Sparkle and Shine Skincare.
So I don't know why I'm messing it up, but today we're thrilled to welcome the skin transformation queen herself, Iysha Wedderburn, the owner of Sparkle and Shine Skincare. Iysha is not only a published esthetician, but a powerhouse in the skincare industry, specializing in corrective skincare and skin coaching. Her approach to self-care and skin health is transformative, reminding us that taking care of our skin is more than a routine. It's an act of self-love with preservation. With Sparkle and Shine Skincare, Iysha empowers her clients to prioritize themselves, recharge, and embrace wellness. We're excited to dive into her journey, expertise, and incredible impact she's making on her clients' lives. Let's welcome Iysha. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
It's nothing, man. We were sitting here talking about some of the stuff that you do, and going into it, it was really, really just inspiring, just listening to you talk about the different things that you do and how you have to change your lifestyle if you want to have great skin. It's not just something that you just put on in the morning and you just go out. You have to really change what you're doing. So go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and we'll get into the questions.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on your platform at Habari Entertainment here in Paradise Valley. I really appreciate it. I'm grateful to be here this beautiful Saturday morning. My name is Iysha. I am also known as Yo Esti Auntie. I'm the owner and the founder of Sparkle and Shine Skincare, and we bring out that inner shine that you've always had within. I specialize in corrective skincare and skin coaching.
There you go. That's dope, man. And I think, like, how do you switch over to help? Do you help gentlemen also?
Oh, absolutely. I believe that skin has no gender.
There you go.
Okay. I help people all the way from ages when they start puberty, which could start as early as 9 years old now.
Yeah.
Back in the day, puberty used to start about 13, 14.
Right.
But because our environment, there's a lot of factors in there, like hormones and things going on that puberty is now starting earlier.
Yeah,
so
crazy.
I'm seeing clients as early as 9, 10 years old, all the way up to 100 years old.
Wow.
As I mentioned before, skincare, there is no gender. If you have a face, I can help you.
Man, that's dope though. So can you tell us what inspired you to create Sparkle and Shine Skincare? What was your main inspiration?
My main inspiration is to help.
Okay.
That is my assignment. Because I believe that we all, every last one of us that is born, we all have an assignment.
Yeah.
And it is our right to find out what that assignment is. And sometimes it may take you longer than others to find out what your assignment is.
Right.
And I thought that my assignment was I was a makeup artist. I started out as a makeup artist first.
Okay.
And I was doing makeup for, friends and family for different things like weddings, birthdays. And I thought at one point I wanted to be this famous makeup artist doing makeup for television, movies. That wasn't it. My assignment shifted. I decided to go to school to be an esthetician.
Okay.
And when I decided to become an esthetician, I couldn't even spell esthetician. I was like, what? What is that?
Exactly, because that was crazy to spell.
Right. And I went to school. I was the oldest student in my class.
Right. That's dope.
Here I was, 40 years old,
Wow.
going to school with these young ladies.
Yeah.
And there's gentlemen now that's becoming estheticians nowadays. And that's where Esty Auntie came from, because from school, I was kind of like that mentor. And I started learning about skin and how skin works. And I fell in love with skin.
Okay.
And makeup will not look good unless your skin looks good.
That's real. You can't cover it up.
Absolutely. So I came up with the name Sparkle and Shine is because I love anything. If you know me personally, you know that I like sparkly things. Everything's sparkly and bright, and I love light.
Yeah.
And that's where Sparkle and Shine Skincare came from, because I believe that I bring that inner shine that you've always had within, because we all, every last one of us, no matter if you are considered or labeled as a monster or you're labeled as something, you have some light in you.
Right.
You have some kind of greatness in you. You have something in you that ignites some type of greatness. And that's where I come in as a state board licensed esthetician, is I bring that out of my clients, bring them back their confidence again.
Yeah, that's definitely something a lot of people need, and especially when you want to start skin deep, and when people want to start with how they feel about themselves. Sometimes it's what you look at in the mirror, and if you look at yourself and you feel as though you're not the best person that you are, it sometimes can hurt you. It can put you in depression. It can put you in situations where you're not feeling great about yourself. And you helping people to get there, I think that's a big thing. I know some people may say, "Oh, that's being really shallow to think just about your skin and how you look." But looking good is feeling good, man. And if you look good and you feel like you're your best, you're gonna do your best. I've always believed that. A lot of people believe that. A lot of hoopers, that's why they want new shoes. You feel good, you hoop well. You just want to look good, man. And so people want to do that. And I want to real quick tell us something we were talking about before the show. Talk about some of the things that people have to change to in their skincare routine to make themselves have better skin. Some of the things that we don't think about that makes a difference in the skincare.
That is a major factor, because all my first time clients, when they come to me, it's deeper than just a facial.
Right.
You're not coming to me for just a facial. You're coming to me for education.
Yeah.
You're coming to me for guidance.
Right.
There's no sabotage talk when you come to me. When they start, my skin is ugly, and I change their verbiage right away.
Yeah.
I let them know, okay, when you're in my care, you will not use words as ugly. You will not use words as dumb. You will not use words as, I feel crazy because I never had a facial. I don't allow my clients to self-sabotage themselves.
Okay.
So it's all about a mindset as well.
Yeah.
So when they come to me, I just basically guide them on the importance of your lifestyle.
Right.
Because you can't be working on your skin and then you're eating Chick-fil-A every day.
Yeah.
Because your gut is the satellite to great skin.
Wow.
And a lot of people don't know that.
No, man.
They think that just coming to get a facial, cleaning their face off every day is essential to achieve amazing skin. And it's way deeper than that.
Wow. And that, I'm happy that you're telling people that, because, you know, a lot of people think, especially in your teenage years, we want to eat pizzas and all these bad foods every day. Those things are going to reflect on your face. Those things are going to reflect on your skin, those decisions of what you're eating every day as a kid. You know, you do have to keep your skin clean, but you also want to eat cleaner than you do, and try to get healthier habits going into your lifestyle. And that would help you with obesity and other things also, because you're making better decisions on that. So I think that's great information that people should be picking up, man. Sometimes it's all about what you're putting in yourself from what you're getting out of yourself. And if you're putting in bad things, then usually you're going to get out bad things.
Absolutely. It's going to show up on your skin.
Right.
So
exactly.
when my clients come to me, I don't judge them based on their skin. I want to empower them.
Right.
I want to educate them.
Yeah.
If their skin is severely dry, I'm asking discovery questions.
Right.
Let's talk about your water intake. How much water are you drinking?
That's real.
How much alcohol are you drinking? Or do you smoke cigarettes?
Right.
Even, your medications.
Yeah.
Medications can dry your skin out as well. So these are things that I need to find out from my clients to kind of guide them and help them. I don't bash them and say, hey, drinking alcohol is bad. No, we think of other alternatives.
Right.
I just explain to them, like, okay, so if you're going to drink alcohol, you can't expect amazing skin.
That's real.
So let's try to do something else. Let's do other coping measures. Like if you're stressed out and you need to decompress, let's try drinking some kava.
Right.
Let's try drinking some tea. Let's try some aromatherapy.
Right.
Let's try some different ways to kind of cope with whatever you're going through.
Yeah. Yeah. We all have our coping mechanisms.
Yes.
But we can't let those coping mechanisms destroy us.
Absolutely.
And to make our health worse and bad because we're trying to cope what's going on in the world. I try my best. I'm not a big drinker, never been, but I don't drink during the week. You know, I have a couple drinks during the weekend. I'm not going to get messed up drunk, but you have to be, everything is in moderation. That's what it's all about, man. You can't do these things every day. You drinking every day, you're probably going to have some issues down the line. If you're eating bad every day, you're probably going to have some issues. You have to take those days one day at a time. But you have to take those steps. All right, man, on Tuesday and Wednesdays, I'm not drinking. And then just further that. And you go further and you become better at what you're doing. So many people struggle with finding the right skincare routines. How do you approach skin coaching, and what advice would you give to someone just starting with their skincare?
The advice I would give them is, first of all, you got to check their schedule, because I'm going to recommend a regimen like let's say for a mom that's super busy. She got to get the kids off to school.
Right.
She has to go to work. I'm not going to recommend this long drawn out regimen that's going to take her a long time in the morning. We're just going to get to the basics, like a cleanser, a toner, a moisturizer, and her sunscreen. Something that's just going to take 5 minutes.
Okay.
Just 5 minutes. You want it 2 minutes to cleanse your skin, because you can't just put it on real quick and then leave. You really need to get in there, and cleansing is the most important part of the regimen. And then after that, it takes you maybe a half a minute to tone, half a minute to moisturize, and a half a minute to put your sunscreen on.
Okay.
And then you're going to exfoliate maybe once or twice a week, depending on what your skin type is.
Okay.
If your skin is severely, like, let's say it's dry or it's sensitive, I'm going to recommend that you're going to exfoliate once a week.
Okay.
If you're severely oily or we have some issues that we're working on, you can exfoliate up to 3 times a week.
Wow.
And I write a schedule for you. I share, all your steps. So when you leave, it's not just I sold you products and you're on your own. No, I stay connected with my clients. I follow up with them, say, hey, how are you doing? Do you need some support?
Okay. Man, that's awesome. That is awesome. And that's what people need, and I'm very happy that you're out here providing that, and especially for us, because I've not seen many companies focusing on black skincare. We have companies putting out black products,
absolutely,
but they don't have black people as the testers. They don't have black people running these companies. So to me, they're not focusing on the black person. They're just trying to sell a product, and that's one thing that we have to look out for. And
absolutely,
I'm happy that it's people like you that's trying to do that.
And as I mentioned before, I feel as though it's one of my assignments, because that's just one of many of my assignments that I'm here as a human being to help as many people as I can. But also, as far as the skincare companies focusing on black skin, that narrative is starting to change.
Right.
We are being seen. We are being heard.
Yeah.
I am actually, there is a magazine called Dermoscope magazine.
Okay.
Dermoscope magazine is the Vogue magazine of the skincare industry. And I am the first black African-American solo esthetician to be on the cover of that magazine. So we are shaking trees. Yeah. We are being seen. We are being heard.
That is great, because I know that black women spend billions of dollars on skincare.
Yes.
And it has to be something that we are getting out of this, where black people are being seen for the money that they are bringing to the forefront.
Absolutely.
And I'm happy that the times are changing.
It
and
is.
They're doing more about that. So with Sparkle and Shine, and you promote self-care as an act of self-love and preservation. How important do you think skincare is in a broader content of self-care?
Well, it's all together collectively.
Okay.
Because when people see you, the first thing they're going to see is your skin.
Yeah, that's real.
And if you go to like a job interview, you go on a date, you go to, let's say, a podcast interview or what have you, your skin, that's the first thing they're going to see. And they're going to look, if you have blackheads, if your skin's dull and dirty and not looking so great, I'm sorry, but you're judged.
Yeah, we definitely are.
You're judged based on your skin. So that's what I do is I come in, I help professionals, models, anyone that's like in front of the camera, in the boardroom that travels a lot. I'm going to help you achieve your goals pretty much. But self-care is involved with self-love, because if you love yourself, you're going to take care of yourself.
That's real.
And skincare is a little bit more than just skincare. It's all about drinking your water, taking your supplements, watching your diet, implementing more fruits and vegetables, wearing your sunscreen.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie to you. When I noticed at a young age that the people who drink a lot of water, skin look magnificent. And I'm like, I knew a guy, he was in his 50s, and dude looked like he was like 35. I'm like, man, but one thing that I always seen this dude do is drink bottles and bottles of water. I'm like, man, that's the key right there, man. Keeping yourself hydrated, keeping your skin hydrated is a big key to good skin. And he was never drinking all these bad sugary stuff. He was always drinking water, man. So I took that in. I was like, man, I do that to this day. I just drink a lot of water. I don't mess with all that stuff. You know, my weekends is my cheat days, but during the week, I don't mess with that. So
and black does crack.
Definitely.
People say, "Oh, black don't crack." Yes, it does.
Yeah, it does, and especially if you're not taking care of your skin.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you look old real fast. So skincare can often be overwhelming with so many products and trends. What are some of the skincare fundamentals that you believe everyone should follow?
Oh, the trends, they come and go.
Right.
They really do. because there might be some trends going on right now that was back in the 80s. So TikTok is big on the trends, and my advice, go to a licensed professional.
Yeah.
If you really want to work on your skin and really want to get to the root and cause of your goals, go to a state board licensed professional, please.
Yeah.
Those TikTok trends are just things that these influencers are just making up for clout, for likes, for followers. They don't understand what the layers of the skin is. They don't know how chemicals work. They don't know how ingredients work.
Yeah.
But one of the most important things that's never going to leave is sunscreen.
Yeah.
Sunscreen is for everybody.
Yeah.
I was just gonna ask that.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the best skin, but I have all right skin. But I don't burn.
Your skin looks pretty good from here.
Oh, well, thank you. But my skin doesn't burn for like maybe 3 hours. I can go outside, direct sunlight, Arizona. Is like for people who don't burn as much, is sunscreen still like something that's super important? And then follow up if the answer is yes, which I'm assuming it is. I can't use a lot of sunscreen because it's too oily and it actually messes with my face. So is there anything you'd recommend there?
It depends. There is different sunscreens.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have a chemical sunscreen. You also have a mineral-based sunscreen. So it's possibly that the sunscreen that you have is oily because maybe you need to shift to a mineral-based sunscreen. Okay. Possibly. There's different type of sunscreens that do different types of things. But as I mentioned before, if you have a face, you need sunscreen. No matter if you are Snow White to the darkest of a blackberry.
That's crazy.
You need sunscreen.
Because a lot of black people don't think that we need sunscreen.
Yeah, because of lack of education. Well, back in the day, that's possible because our environment wasn't so compromised.
Yeah.
Our environment, look at our ozone layer.
Yeah.
Look at global warming.
Right.
So those UV ray lights is coming down, and they're shining a little bit brighter than they were back in the day. So that is possible. But yes, now today, 2024, sunscreen is a must.
Wow.
Is that why I started wrinkling at 22, or is it the stress?
It could be a combination. Just exfoliate and hydrate.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll be okay.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, can you tell us about some of the specific challenges your clients face with their skin and how you help them to overcome those challenges?
Whew, there's so many. There's over 10 years worth of stories I can share, but I'm just going to only, keep it quick. Many of clients come to see me because they have acne.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've had clients, I don't know, if you go on my Instagram, you will see a lot of my skin transformations. A lot of my clients, when they first came to me, they were so sad.
Right.
They were sad to the point to where they were embarrassed. When they come see me, they would look down. When I'm giving them their consultation, they're looking down, and I'm like, I need to see you. Right. I need to look at your skin. They wouldn't give me eye contact. They wouldn't go on dates. They would stay home because they were so embarrassed of their skin.
Yeah.
And a couple of my clients, it got to the point to where I couldn't help them.
Right.
Because it was a little bit deeper. It was genetics. Sometimes it could be genetics. So they had to go to a dermatologist, and the dermatologist prescribed them like antibiotics or Accutane or something a little bit more stronger. But that was only like maybe a couple of my clients that I had to recommend a dermatologist. And dermatologists, the difference between a dermatologist and an esthetician, a dermatologist treats the disease of the skin. And an esthetician, we treat the health of the skin.
Okay.
So there was times when I had no choice but to recommend them to a dermatologist, and they went and got on Accutane, and they were okay after that. But most of my clients, it's not a one and done. It takes, some of my skin transformations took as long as a year.
Dang.
Yeah.
Man.
And there are a lot of downsides of Accutane, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know. I've known a lot of people who have really bad acne and who just refuse to go on Accutane. 'Cause it messes with your hormones, right? It does a
hormones.
lot.
It can make you sterile to where you're not
goodness.
able to reproduce.
Wow.
It could possibly also alter your mental health as well.
But why would you want it? What is it? Is it acne that you would want to go that far? Or?
Yes, if their acne is severe to the point to where I've tried everything, but most of the time, once I take my client's diet and we break it down, I take away the dairy. The first thing I do is take away the dairy. I take away the eggs. No more eggs. No more cow milk.
So you think it's the antibiotics in the cow milk that's messing?
Absolutely, and the hormones.
Yeah.
I tell them to cut back on the meat.
Yeah.
Maybe try to stick to a diet that's like more vegetables and fish based.
Okay.
Because I believe that anything that rises this way when it cooks, it goes in your gut and does the same thing.
Okay.
Your skin mimics and copies what the gut does.
That is crazy. That is crazy, man.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people know that, because man, that's something that's just not normal education. That's not normal information that you can find out there, man. Because I didn't know that.
Yes.
And it's definitely good to know. What you're eating is a big part of your skincare. So it could be deeper things than that, but it's good to go talk to someone like Iysha, so she can be able to point you in the right direction if you're having problems with your skin. Don't get depressed about the situation. Go talk to someone.
Absolutely.
I know when I was 16, I had horrible acne, and it took me a while to figure it out. And the advice I got from grown-ups and parents was horrible. I don't even want to repeat one of the things my uncle told me. You needed a woman, is what they were telling me.
I've heard that.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be transparent. This is not going to be. This is if you're 18 and under, close your ears. However, it's been proven that orgasms make your skin much better.
Wow.
Yes.
I never heard that, but maybe they was kind of right there.
Absolutely.
When
exactly
I was
what
a
they
kid
was telling
growing
us.
up, every time I would, especially for us women, when it comes to that time of the month and things like that, and our skin really flares and we get all the acne and all the hormones just come at us. That was one of the first things that every older female would tell me. Oh, you just being forward.
Oh,
That's signs of you being forward. That's why you having acne. And I'm like,
yes, orgasms help with your skin.
Wow.
It makes you radiant. It makes you glowing. And as women, when we get those hormonal breakouts during that time, it's a signal to tell the opposite sex, ain't nothing popping, because I got the breakout. So stay away.
right.
Back off. There's no mating right now. So that's where you're going to get the breakouts.
Damn, that's crazy, man.
It's a warning signal.
So finally, what advice would you give to anyone looking to improve their skin, their self-confidence, and overall well-being?
My advice is, as far as make a decision. Make a decision. Do you love yourself enough to make the investment?
Okay.
And when I say investment, it's an investment.
Yeah.
Because you have to invest in your service with me. You also have to invest in your home care.
Okay.
You have to alter your diet changes. And sometimes you have to do things like, let's say you get your nails done every 2 weeks. If you have to cut those nails out to implement your facials and your skincare, then that's what you need to do, because nails, lace fronts, lashes, all that's not going to last. You want to invest in your skin, because your skin is going to be with you from the time that you are born until the time that you transition. So invest in it the best. All those other temporary things, yeah, they're cute, they're fun, but think of your skin first, because that's the first thing that everyone's going to see first.
That's real, man.
It sounds like there's a lot of, if you're struggling with self-confidence, instead of like getting on Accutane, it would be a really good idea to give someone like you a call and start looking into like the more holistic, more like lifestyle changes, right?
Yes, because I go over all that. I recommend diet to help with your skin, also supplements, even something simple as implementing vitamin D into your regimen, and vitamin C, glutathione. There's a lot of different vitamins out there that IV vitamin drips. Those also help with your skin as well.
Okay.
So I have the knowledge. So if anyone out there wants to help their skin or just boost their confidence, come and see me.
And do you have a website or a phone number that everyone can reach out to?
Yes, I recommend that you follow me on Instagram at _ Sparkle and Shine. I'm also on Facebook at Sparkle and Shine. You can also follow me on Threads. My website is www.sparkleandshineskincare.com. You can also email me at skinwins@sparkleandshineskincare.com.
That's very, very, very exciting. We really appreciate you coming through and talking about skincare with us.
Thanks for having me.
Teaching us a little bit more about what's needed to have great skin. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back in a couple moments here, and stay tuned for more Habari Live.
Habari Live will be back momentarily.
Welcome back, man. We're going to go straight into Habari News Weekly, brought to you by no one. And let's run it.
If you want it to be brought to you by what?
Habari.
If you want it to be brought to you by you.
Sponsorship.
Sponsorship packages are available.
Yes, email us at info@habarientertainment.com, and we can send you this brochure and let you know what packages we have for you.
Most definitely.
Mm-hmm. And now, this week's Habari News Weekly with Damon Dipling Ellison. Sponsored by
Globally.
Yo, welcome back to Habari News Weekly, Habari Live. So we got my host, Iysha Wedderburn, back in the house, and we're going to bring you the latest updates and insightful discussions on the most pressing topics of the week. Let's get it going.
Yes, sir.
What we got? What's the first story you got?
All right. So this week, a lot happened, as we know. There was so many stories coming out. It was just hard to keep up with everything that was coming out.
Yes.
But this week, a Florida teen is facing 2 felony charges after police said that he threatened 2 women with a machete and took part in voter intimidation or suppression tactics at an early voting site.
Man.
Wrong one.
Hey, man, dude, we've been seeing a lot of craziness going on with the burning of the ballots in Oregon, the burning of the ballots in Arizona. Now we're seeing Washington and Portland, so 3 states, and they're burning ballots. They're intimidating people at the polls. We're seeing a lot of crazy stuff, man. I'm this election. I mean, you got to think what happened last time. We had January 6th.
Exactly.
So, man, this one may be crazier, man.
It is crazy because this guy was an 18-year-old. His name was Caleb James Williams. He was the only adult of a group of 8 young men who arrived at Beach's Branch Library in Neptune Beach on Tuesday afternoon with what Neptune police are saying was the sole intent to protest and antagonize the opposing political side. Police said they were called to the polling location soon after the group approached the sign waivers, and they arrested Williams for felony aggravated assault on a person 65 years or older.
Oh my goodness, he beat
and a misdemeanor exhibition of a dangerous weapon. So he was basically out there brandishing this machete,
trying to get people knocked
to older people,
to keep people from voting.
So just, I don't think I have to ask, but I'm going to. What party did he represent, and what party was he intimidating?
He was Republican, intimidating Democrats.
Yeah.
Could you believe it?
I mean, I'm not surprised.
I mean, it's crazy because the people that's always hollering the illegals are voting, they're bringing in people to vote, they're cheating to vote. They're always the people that's doing crazy stuff at the polls.
That's always the ones that end up trying to cheat in the vote.
And then with the lady who had she voted for her dead mother. She voted for Trump.
Right.
And then we got a video circulating right now of Haitians going to vote. I don't even know they was Haitian. They was just black people. They was going to vote in Georgia. And they're saying that these people voted illegally in several different counties, and they were paid, and come to find out that the videos from the Russians.
Right.
The videos from the Russians. You know, everybody's believing it.
This video went so viral.
Yeah, you know they gonna believe it.
It was just
because they want to believe it. They want to believe it so bad that we're cheating. They want that. But dude, you're like I said, man. Voter fraud it seldom happens. And when it does happen, usually the person is caught. So I mean, I wish that people had more faith in our system, but you know, Donald Trump always going out there and talking about how the system is cheating and it's rigged. Only when he loses does he says this. But it's bad, man, for democracy. It's not helping. That's why people say he's bad for democracy, because he doesn't think the system is correct when it picks him as losers. And then he wants to go out and say that it's cheating and it's rigged, and that does not help democracy. That's why people say that. Not just to mess with him, but because he is bad for democracy by the things that he says. But what's the next one?
Well, real quick, I just also I know we don't have much time on this story, but I've heard the word civil war thrown around a lot.
And they've said Trump was going to be the cause of the civil war.
Yeah, but there are government officials who are just not showing up to any big cities. Like, governments are shutting down over the entire week of voting because it's just not safe for their employees to come.
That's sad, man.
It is.
That is
very sad.
And then, we have the people who were working the polls, and they're suing Donald Trump and Rudy Giuliani, and they're taking all Rudy Giuliani little money. They finna own this little penthouse.
They said you got to give up all your luxury.
Man, you gonna have to give it up.
Give it up.
And he trying his best to act like he poor, but they taking it, and the judges are granting it to him because this is what he gets for talking this mess. And then the crazy part is that they're still running with these stories after they see how many people from the Trump cabinet have went to jail. How many people have been, that have lost their cases and been found guilty. We got Steve Bannon in jail. We got Giuliani.
No, Steve Bannon just got out of jail.
Out, okay.
But as soon as he got out, he went right back to campaigning for Trump.
What else he gonna do? He ain't gonna do the right thing.
You couldn't look at yourself and say, "Doc, I literally just went to jail for this man. Let me do something different."
Right. No.
I'm gonna do the same thing.
Same old shit, man. He ain't gonna change. Steve Bannon, and then we got Giuliani. All these people being found guilty.
Yep.
To me, it's just karma for how they treated Hillary. Lock her up.
Yep.
Lock her up. And what happened?
Majority of his cabinet.
Y'all got locked up.
Right.
That's what they get. And
anyway, moving on. Young Thug.
Oh, man.
Could soon be a free man.
Yeah, man.
He was just sentenced and may not have to serve any more time behind bars.
It's been how many years since this case? 4?
He's been in jail for 5 years.
Yeah, so they're going to give him time served on that.
That's what it's looking like. They're saying that if he successfully completes 15 years of probation, the judge imposed a sentence which amounts to 40 years in total.
Yeah.
They said that if they're going to give him time served for the 5 years,
right,
plus 15 on probation.
Yeah.
And there's a backload of 20-year prison sentence that could kick in after the probation if he does not successfully complete probation.
Goodness. Bro gonna have to stay out of trouble, man.
Yep. So he's going to have to stay clean, keep his nose out of trouble. And the judge said if he successfully does complete his 15 years of probation, the remaining 20 years would be commuted.
It's going to be hard, though, because he can't interact with any other affiliated gang members except for Gunna. So, and I don't know why it's except for Gunna. I don't know why Gunna's
because they're in the group together, maybe.
Well, yeah, but also you would figure you want to stay away from the gang people in your group too if you're not a.
But I mean, they have business together, so I think that's why they're giving him a pass on
this
that.
This sentence that he's got is kind of his own fault.
Yeah,
because. They gave him an earlier plea deal and told him, like, hey, we'll give you a 15-year, we'll recommend 15 years for you if you come out and say that, hey, yeah, I'm the leader of this gang and yada, 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 and just go ahead and take the bank.
Right.
But he was like, nah, I don't want that, and turned it down.
I'm not going to lie to you, man. In my life, my auntie, she did like 30 years fed time for drugs, man. I'm going to be real with you, and it seems like anytime you fight, you get more time, and she fought it. She wanted to fight it, but every time you fight it, man, it seems like they want to hit you harder. Most of these cases, man, I hate to say it, usually these prosecutors have a lot of evidence. They're not going to take the case to this limit if they don't feel as though they have the ability to win. So when they come to you with a deal, 9 times out of 10,
that's the best deal that they can.
You better take that deal, man.
Right.
I know it. You don't want to snitch. I ain't saying snitch, especially if you were out there doing it, but you better take that deal 9 times out of 10 because you're not going to get a better deal down the road. Because once you lose the court case and you look bad in front of the judges, they're going to take that away and they're going to give you a worse deal than the one that they offered you up front. So usually, man, if they give you a little deal,
what happened in his case.
Go ahead, take that deal, man, and run with it. Especially if you're from the streets and you've been doing this. If you're innocent, don't take nothing, man. You try to fight,
right?
Especially if you haven't done anything. But if you've been doing this stuff, man, you have to be real with yourself.
Yeah, you do.
And you have to think about your situation. And especially if you've been doing some of this crazy stuff, it's best to go ahead and get it out the jump and get on. Hopefully, man, he comes out, Young Thug comes out and he lives life differently. They're going to be watching him. They're going to be listening to his music. They're going to be listening to everything, man. So
every project that he does or puts his hands on is going to be highly scrutinized.
Yeah.
It's going to be highly looked at.
I hope that he comes out and he goes a different direction. I know it's tough. The street life and the shooting and killing is a big part of hip hop for some reason, and we can't get past it. Yep. We can't get past over the killing and murder. We can't be more of a positive face music. I don't understand it. The allure of the streets and the thuggery is a big part of the music. It's on edge. It's you know, it feels like you're committing a crime to listen to it.
Right.
And that can be alluring. I understand that, man. I was a kid too, and we listened to the same stuff, man. But I just think that we need to change. We can't keep going. We've been I was in the 90s. I was a teenager. I was a young kid, you know, 12, 11, and listened to this stuff, man. And we weren't doing. We weren't thinking anything about that stuff as a kid. But we get older, we see the things that are wrong, and we try to point the kids in the right direction. But it's difficult. So I'm just hoping that, man, things change for people, man, and we can point a different direction on this music for we can't stop using these people like Young Thug. He made it out. He was doing something good.
Right.
Most people get thrown in prison, man. They don't make it out. To see him make it out and make something of himself, I hate to see it wasted and him going to jail. We need to do better, and let's figure out ways to keep our kids and the allure of violence away.
What do you think has to change first? The culture, like the overall culture, or the way that people present themselves through music? Because a part of me almost thinks that the music is just a reflection of culture and its self-expression.
That's exactly what it is. I mean,
it's a little of both, because you gotta understand.
Change it. It's to change what you're seeing, right?
Well, I mean, you gotta understand that the music wouldn't be popping if it wasn't the real life of how people are living.
Right.
So it has to be a change of both. It's not going to come off of just the streets are going to change. If music can start it, if music start being positive, I'm not saying that it's. You got to think, in the 70s they were singing doo-wop and everything else, and they still was killing people, and it still was pimps and hoes and cocaine. So it's not, the music is not going to just automatically make everything better. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we don't have to live the lifestyles that people are talking about.
Right.
We have to start being
copy those lifestyles.
So it is the culture. The culture is we're just too connected to loserism and to the bottom, because we have been the bottom. Because people have been losing so long that you have a connection to losing.
Become content.
Right. You have a connection to going to jail, to your homies getting out, and you have a feeling of, this is what it's supposed to be. Fuck the regular people. Fuck the normal go to job. He's square. You know what I'm saying? This the streets. This is the rules. You know, you get into that because that's all you know. Mm-hmm. And that's, I grew up that way, man. That's all I knew was the streets. That's all I knew was the people on the streets, the stuff on the streets. You don't realize it until you get out of that it's a different way to live, that you don't have to put these things on the front. You don't have to be a criminal. You don't have to be in a gang.
So, like, for a lot of people who don't have the context, right, like, that was Kanye West's, that's what kept him from being in the industry so long, because he was kind of just, like, a nerdy kid who liked art and liked music and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But they, like, kept him out of the industry for a long time because of that. But I think, I mean, for all that Kanye has done, negative, I think he's done a lot to make it more acceptable, to be more of, like, a introspective artistic person, because before that it was just NWA. It was people who were either real gangsters or fake gangsters dressing up as gangsters. But you know, Kanye did his thing, and you get like new people like Lupe and all the people coming after him who weren't gangster rap necessarily. But
the thing is gangster rap never really went away. No. There was always like several different genres. There was always rappers who didn't do that. Tribe Called Quest. There was always rappers who didn't talk about shooting and killing, but there was always that part of it. And to me nowadays it seems there are more people who talk about shooting and killing like it's normal, and there's less and less Tribe Called Quest. Those people who spoke about the good things about being black, the good things that comes out of the black neighborhood. And so many people are focused on the negative that we're not seeing the positive as much. We need more groups like that. We need more passing me by songs. We need less songs of violence and shooting, but so much of it is about sex. The internet is picking pretty much all your artists nowadays. Yep. They're not being filtered out like they used to be by the record labels. The record labels don't have the power that they used to have because online is so strong.
And not even just online, it has such a strong presence. It's just a lot of artists don't want to be tied down to a record label nowadays.
No, why would they?
They want to be independent. They want to be able to say, I got control of my music, my everything.
Yeah, because the label's been ripping people off for decades, so people don't want anything to do with it. But the filter of the record labels, being able to make an artist better and doing things to make them better, those days are gone, and that's why the music is seeming to fall off. It's not as good as music as we used to see in the 80s, 90s. We're not seeing the training of these musicians. They're not coming up. So those things hurt. What's your last story?
But yeah, we got a couple more to go through real quick. Federal jury on Friday convicted former Kentucky police detective of using excessive force on Breonna Taylor during a botched 2020 drug raid that left her dead. The 12-member jury returned late Friday night with the verdict after clearing Brett Hankinson earlier in the evening on the charge that he used excessive force on Taylor's neighbors. This makes the first conviction of a Louisville police officer who was involved in the deadly raid that left Breonna Taylor dead.
Yeah, I mean, he had got off on every other case. They were letting him go. I don't understand how he was how people see that he didn't do anything. Letting off 10 shots in an area where you couldn't even see who was there and who was in the house, that's bad policemanship.
And they say that some of the shots that he let off ended up into the neighbor's home.
Right, because he was just blindly just letting off shots. So, you know, he's putting everyone's lives in danger. And it's, you know, the police, it's, you know, like I say all the time, man, I'm not saying that we don't need them or we never should have the police. I'm just saying that they have to be trained better, man. We got to do a better job.
Most definitely.
We don't do a good job of policing in America. And,
we don't. But there are times where we are doing good policing work, right?
Yeah.
For example, 2 men are dead and at least 7 people are injured after an overnight shooting that happened in downtown Orlando.
Can't go into Halloween in the downtown.
The city's police department said that they responded to a shooting near East Central Boulevard and North Orange Avenue just after 1 o'clock Friday morning. Minutes later, police said that they received another call about shots fired south of Washington Street on North Orange Avenue. Orlando Police Chief Eric Smith said that 8 people were shot
Goodness.
2 of the victims died, and a 9th person was trampled amid the chaos.
Oh, man.
The victims' ages were between 19 and 39 years old.
Mm-hmm.
The suspect has been identified as 17-year-old Jalen Dwayne Edgar, who has a previous arrest record, according to the police.
Man,
17. You already have a record, and you gonna go out here and shoot 8 people that's just trying to celebrate Halloween?
So was it like a fest? I might have missed this. Was it like a festival, or
Yeah,
was
it
it just trick or treating?
It was like a festival or something that was going on, because it was
celebration
a
of Halloween.
large crowd of people
Right.
out there celebrating, and he just opens fire in the middle of the crowd.
It's disgusting, man. I wish there were less guns out here, man. There's too many guns out here, man. And young kids getting their hands on these guns, man. You know how I feel about it, and how I always felt about it.
Of course.
So we gotta make it more difficult to get these things, man.
Mm-hmm. All right. So these next 2 stories, they really hit home, because as a woman, this is election season, and these are the things that we are having to deal with as women pregnant and our health care, right?
Yeah.
A pregnant teenager died after trying to get health care from 3 different hospitals.
Oh, man.
She went to 3 different emergency rooms. And in the span of these 3 emergency rooms that she went to,
Right.
it was across a span of 20 hours.
Oh, my goodness.
She was 18 years old. Her name is Nevaeh Crane. The first hospital diagnosed her with strep throat without even investigating her sharp abdominal cramps. The second hospital said she screened positive for sepsis, which is a life-threatening and fast-moving reaction to an infection, according to her medical records. But the doctors said that her 6-month-old fetus still had a heartbeat and that she was fine to leave. So they discharged her.
With sepsis?
With sepsis. On her 3rd hospital visit, an obstetrician insisted that she needs 2 ultrasounds to confirm fetal demise.
Right.
And this is according to the nurse's note in her chart, before moving her to intensive care.
Mm-hmm.
By then, more than 2 hours after her arrival at this 3rd hospital, Crane's blood pressure plummeted, and a nurse noted in her chart that her lips were blue and dusky. Her organs began failing, and she died hours later.
Oh, man.
But she's not the only one. And I just want to remind you guys that both of these women live in Texas. The second woman is a 28-year-old woman who died in 2021 after her abortion care was delayed for more than 40 hours, as she was actively having a miscarriage. Jocelyn Barnica was told that it would be a crime to intervene in her miscarriage because the fetus still had cardiac activity. Despite her 17-week pregnancy already resulting in a miscarriage that was already in progress, according to the medical records that were obtained by ProPublica, the medical team told Barnica that she had to wait there until there was no heartbeat, according to Texas's new abortion ban. This is what the doctors told her husband while she was actively dying. The baby was protruding. It was already in the cervix, coming out. And they still told her she had to wait. And she waited 40 hours. And she was sitting there begging facility workers, please help me so I can go home to my children. And they refused care.
I mean, you don't want to blame the workers because they feared that they're going to go to jail also. You know, but it's horrible, man, that the government has put them in a situation where they have
where
to make
either
decisions
the
like
mom,
this.
if she lives, faces charges for murder because she had a miscarriage, or the doctors intervened and took the baby. So now her and the doctors are facing charges.
It's a
But this
Socratic
is
oath, though. It's do no harm. You're questioning. It's bringing up like, are you going to stand up to the government and fulfill your oath that you
Exactly.
made,
And
or go to jail?
Exactly. And according to Texas's state law, they must help both mother and child. But since the federal law says no, you can't, the doctors were scared and decided, no, we're not gonna help. We're not gonna do anything. We're not going to intervene. You need to wait until our legal team says it's okay for us to do this, for our compliance team to give us the okay.
That's crazy. Yeah.
This is what Republicans want. If you are a woman, this is what the Republicans want you to go through. This is what Donald Trump wants you to go through.
Yeah, man. He's sitting around bragging.
He does not care about what you are going through.
Mm-hmm.
He does not care about your reproductive health. And he just blankly says, die.
I mean, that's what they're saying.
And that's what these women had to
Yeah.
go through. That's what they endured.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the conclusion was, because state law, federal law says no, we can't intervene. We don't want to go to jail because of this law.
Right. Nah, man, it's definitely sad. This definitely that's why we got to get out and vote, man. Voting means something. That's why when he won the first time, and it was a bad time for him to win, he put so many judges in there because they blocked Obama. They didn't let Obama pick one judge. Mm-hmm. You know, so the dirty tricks, hoping that they can get in there and they can change stuff. That's what they do, man. That's what they do. You know how they do things. They're scandalous.
And this just rolls right into another thing of where they're trying to get women to vote for them and things like that. Is, the comedian at the Donald Trump rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Biden says that it's not that Trump's garbage, it's that his supporters are.
Mm. Hey, if you support that shit, you what do you think you are?
And
you think you get a pass?
He took that so much to heart that he went and had a garbage truck plastered with his name on it. And he almost fell out of it trying to get into it.
Man, it's just like that shit when Hillary called them deplorables. And they tried to act like, oh, look, they calling us. Like, dude, y'all call people names the whole time.
And then when somebody calls you that same name back.
Oh, my God. They called that something.
What are they talking about? They're being so mean. They're being bullies.
Right. The fact that you would even bring a person that would even say something like that about Puerto Rico to your convention shows what you're about.
Right.
They vetted that person.
The comedian was Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yes, yeah. Tony Hinchcliffe.
He has been canceled several times, most recently for anti-Asian remarks at a comedy show.
Yeah.
He still runs a very, very, very successful show live on YouTube every week. He
also suggested this week that Latinos love making babies, so they can keep getting the aid and keep getting food stamps and getting help from the U.S. government.
One thing I wanted to explain, a lot of people were talking about this isn't racism, it's not racist, it's just a joke. But the problem is when your platform is to demean, call immigrants criminals, to call people from South America and Central America, they're sending their worst people. Mm-hmm. They're trying to take over your cities. The Haitians, they're eating animals. When you talk about them in this manner, it's hard to come back and be able to joke and call them garbage,
right?
And think that you're going to get a pass.
Yeah,
right.
Well, because comedians have and will continue to say worse, but it's when you're doing it for a person who genuinely believes that.
Exactly.
And who's actively persecuting members of the group that you're making fun of at his campaign rally.
Exactly.
I think you lose the ability to say, oh, it was just a joke.
Exactly.
It was comedy.
We were just making fun of stereotypes that
this is
what you really think. This is what you really believe. Right.
You're not at a comedy show.
And, he didn't just draw on racist stereotypes from Latinos and Puerto Ricans. He also said that black people love watermelon.
Yeah. The old watermelon joke. Like that's old racism.
And he said that Palestinians were rock throwers, while all at the same time saying that Jews would not spend money.
Say anything mean about white people?
Right. Nope.
Right.
Nope. Nothing.
Nope. Nothing.
Oh, I wonder what his position is then.
Man.
Exactly.
So, I don't know how people can take up for him, man, at a political campaign. And then I saw some people try to bring up your one boy, I don't know why I can't think of his name. He was in Blue Beetle. He said some things about Mexicans. But he's Mexican. He is Mexican.
Yep.
So if he want to joke about his people,
he
that's
can joke
fine.
about his people.
Dude didn't make any white people jokes.
Right.
He went up there joking about everybody other
else.
Nationality, every other color but his. He talking about it. Dude was Mexican talking about Mexico. He can do that.
Right.
If you're fat and you make fat jokes,
you can do that.
If you're black and you make black stuff, it's ha as a joke. You hate them.
After you've received backlash from what you said.
Man. The live ended somehow.
Did it? Well, where at?
On Facebook somehow.
On Facebook? Let me check Restream, see. I see it says we're still live on Restream.
I don't know what's going on. I was just looking at it. It said we was
there got a notification again right there.
It must have dropped off.
It's just been a pause or something. Yeah.
It did because we're at 10 seconds now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, 33 seconds.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and go to the next story.
I just think because like Jim Gaffigan, right? He came up. He's a well-known comic. He came up and did jokes at a benefit dinner in New York.
Yeah.
And TV's about to go idle. People gave him I don't think he got too much shit from it because he made fun of everybody. Donald Trump was sitting right next to him, and there were 12 jokes aimed at Donald Trump being a terrible person.
Right.
And I think if you're gonna be a comedian, that's kind of what you have to do in a situation like this.
Yep.
Right.
You can't just go up and be impartial because then you're not making jokes. You're just stating your views.
That's real.
Exactly.
There's a difference.
That's most definitely. So let's go ahead and get into this Habari investigations. We're going to talk about some of the myths of crime in America, and a lot of people, like to talk about how black people commit 90% of the crime in America.
Yep.
And we want to try to spell some of these myths, expel some of these myths that people like to perpetrate.
Yes.
So let's get into it.
Welcome to today's Habari Investigation segment. I'm Iysha Wedderburn. I'm here with my co-host Damon Ellison, and today we're diving deep into revealing a report from the Justice Department that shatters persistent and harmful myths about crime in America.
Mm-hmm. So that's right, Iysha. The DOJ's Bureau of Justice Statistics just released findings that debunk many white supremacist myths about interracial crime and violence. For years, these myths have been used to stigmatize minorities, communities, but the data tells a very different story.
You're right. The numbers do paint a picture of crime patterns that are overwhelmingly interracial, meaning that most violent crimes happen between people of the same race. This report cuts through the noise to reveal the truth and set the record straight. And we're about to break down what the data shows and why it's so important to clear these misconceptions up.
So stay tuned as we dig into these facts, challenge the rhetoric, and expose the realities of crime data that you won't hear in the typical narrative. This is Habari Investigations. Let's get into it.
Yes. All right, so before we move further, if anyone wants to give us a call, I know we are live. If you want to give us a call, the number is 602-529-2827. You can call in and talk to us during the live show. We do recommend you do that. If you want to send us a chat. We want to hear your thoughts, your opinions on the topics.
Yep. So Welcome to a Bar Investigation segment. Today we're tackling a topic that has been manipulated and misrepresented for years, crime statistics by race. Joining me, like always, is Iysha Wedderburn as we dive into the facts behind the data, says that what the data says about violent crime in America.
Yeah, thanks, Damon. So while we're exploring the Bureau of Justice Statistics report titled Race and Hispanic Origin of Victims and Offenders from 2012 through 2015, this report dismantles a lot of white supremacist myths, showing that the vast majority of crimes happen between people of the same race. And it's also a finding that it's pretty consistent across the board, but it's often skewed to support harmful stereotypes.
Exactly, Iysha. A closer look at the data reveals that 57% of violent crimes involving white victims were committed by white perpetrators. Meanwhile, about 63% of violent crimes against black victims were committed by black perpetrators. These stats show that interracial crime, that is, crime within the same race, is more common than interracial crime.
Yeah, and that's the key point. These interracial trends are true across racial groups. The rate of white-on-white crimes is roughly 4 times higher than black-on-white crime, and the rate of black-on-black crime is more than 5 times higher than white-on-black crime. These numbers reveal the myth in the term black-on-black crime, something we rarely hear about other racial groups, like white-on-white or Latino-on-Latino crime.
Yeah, man, they love to talk about black-on-black crime like it's, oh, my God. But every racial group has the same issues. I don't know why they love to focus on us.
Something
but
happened
that's
to the TikTok live.
But that's the way it just started back.
We're back up.
So it's interesting how terms like black-on-black crime get used in certain political narratives, often to stigmatize black communities. But as the data shows, crime patterns are largely about proximity and socio-economic factors rather than race itself. This has become clear with the report's findings that the idea of violent crime as something driven by racial differences just doesn't hold up under scrutiny.
And let's not forget about the dangerous consequences of these misconceptions. False beliefs about race and crime can fuel violence and mishatred. The Charleston church shooter, for instance, cited misleading crime statistics as part of his twisted justification. This misrepresentation of crime data shows its support to white nationalist ideologies is a serious issue.
Right. Politicians, media, and even high-profile figures have sometimes contributed to these myths, either by ignorance or intention. Donald Trump, for instance, shared a tweet that falsely claimed over 80% of white people killed in America were killed by black people, a claim completely debunked by the FBI data. In reality, interracial crime remains the norm across all groups.
I mean, and that brings us to our next point. The term black-on-black crime itself is misleading, and it's used to reinforce the negative stereotypes. If the same crime happens in a different, often wealthier, non-black community, they don't get labeled the same way.
It's crime.
It's a selective rebranding of crime that obscures the real social and economic factors that's driving violence.
That's right. This label misdirects the focus away from those root causes like poverty, education, and opportunity, and it turns it into a divisive racial narrative. The reality is that focusing on crime prevention strategies across all communities, without stigmatizing any particular group, would help reduce the violence.
So, to anyone listening, let's remember that the data does not support these myths. Crime is a complex social issue, not a racial issue.
That's real.
When we label crime by race, we're missing the broader context that could lead to real solutions.
I couldn't agree more. It's crucial to debunk these myths and promote an honest conversation about crime in America. Stick with us here at Habari Live for more investigative insights and fact-based discussions. We will go through more about this as weeks comes, but I definitely, if you have any questions or anything that you want to say about this this topic, we see a lot of people out there talking about, oh, black people, they represent 50% of the murders. These are the things that needs to be talked about more, because these are lies that the right that love to perpetuate. Yes, the poor people do commit more crimes. But is it because they're crazier, or is it because it's socioeconomic situations, because they feel as though they are lost, they don't have money, they don't have opportunity, so they turn to crime? And there's too many black neighborhoods that are in those situations. But we have to start thinking about ways to fix those situations instead of just pointing the finger and blaming like we always do in America. Yep. Yeah, there's people that are suffering, man. There's white people that are suffering, black people, all type people. And we are doing nothing to help these situations by pointing at one race and pointing at one group and trying to demonize them.
And let's saying that they're the ones creating all of the crime in the country.
Exactly. Let's grow up. Let's fix the issues. Let's figure out ways to make our community safer.
Let's be adults.
Please. Please. Let's go into sports real fast, man.
Habari Sports.
We'll do that.
You got to make sure you tell TikTok that you welcome back. You got to interact with them online. If we don't, we just got a thing saying we didn't get paid for the last live.
What? Well, welcome back, TikTokers. We really appreciate you guys sticking with us. We know we had ended and came back, so we appreciate you guys sticking with us. So let's get into some sports, man. Today we're talking about the Phoenix Suns and breaking down what we've learned about this team after another double-digit comeback. It's their second one in a row, and they're showing real grit out there.
You know what, Damon? And this is the time that we're seeing that one of the Suns' role players starting to make a major impact. Mm-hmm. Ryan Dunn, who got another start in Bradley Beal's absence. He stepped up big time against the Clippers. He played the third most minutes of the game, more than Tyus Jones, a point guard they brought in during the offseason for his ball handling and leadership skills.
Yeah, Dunn isn't just filling in minutes, man. He's making a presence felt. Booker went off for 40 points, and while KD had a quieter game with 18, Dunn added a solid 16 points and 3 rebounds. And his performance is making it harder for the coaching staff to ignore him when it comes to those starter minutes, man. Dude is really looking good. He's been taking the best player defensively and covered him pretty well. He did a really good job on LeBron also in the Lakers game.
Yeah, you're right. It's impressive. Dunn isn't just covering for Beal's absence. He's seizing on his opportunity. And the Suns see something in him as he's out there for 34 minutes in one of the toughest matchups. This consistency is exactly what the Suns needed as they continue to mold their rotation.
Yeah, I think it's key. This team is full of stars, but role players like Dunn can make the difference. When they need a comeback or a tight finish, he's proven he's more than just a backup. If he's keeping this up, he might even have a shot at a regular starting role, man. And I think that he for real is on the cusp of that.
And you know, only time will tell. But if Dunn keeps up the way he is, if he keeps stepping up, the Suns coaching staff might have some big decisions to make. And we're going to keep watching, and we're excited to see where this goes and where the team goes from here. But we're going to see how much play time Dunn continues to get throughout the season.
Yeah, man. The rookie is playing well, and he's earning his minutes, and he's doing a very, very good job. The NBA so far has been really, really exciting, man. I was watching the Denver game last night, watching Brian dunk on a big Gobert. It was pretty good, man. Pretty good dunk, man. Pretty good game. Minnesota was able to pull it out. Coming back in the last 10 minutes. So we really like what the season's doing so far, but we'll keep you guys updated with more.
Definitely.
Let's do the hot mess.
Yeah.
Habari Sports Hollywood Hot Mess with Iysha Rowan.
And that'll be fast.
Sponsored by no one. If you would like to give us a sponsor, please email us at info@habarientertainment.com. Or you can give us a call. Our phone number is 602-529-2827. We would like to hear from you. We do want to hear you call in and give us your opinions, give us your thoughts, things like that.
Let's go.
All right. So this week, there really wasn't much gossip going on out there.
Yeah.
Because it was Halloween. You saw a lot of celebrities in their Halloween costumes. Some were good, some were bad, some were just trash. Right? But this week, Tyler, the Creator, cussed out Taylor Swift's Swifties for bringing up his old lyrics in hopes of getting him canceled.
Oh, I was waiting for somebody to do that. I like Tyler, but
he got some crazy lyrics back in the day.
Oh my gosh, it was insane. But I mean, he came out as gay, so they weren't as bad. But jeez,
I don't
like
know.
the Goblin era,
know.
that was insane.
I don't even know if dude is really gay, man. I don't even know.
On Halloween, Tyler surprised his Boston fans with a Chromacopia album, which it was a concert to promote his latest project after he defiantly released it on Monday against music industry standards.
Okay.
The release shot Tyler to the top of the global Spotify artist charts for 3 consecutive days.
It was a great album. I'll give him that.
This knocked Taylor Swift off of her perch.
So the Taylor Swift people mad.
And likely sparking the ire of Swifties everywhere.
Oh, my goodness.
He fired back, addressing Taylor's army while on top of the Converse flagship store. And he said he's got Swifties all mad at him with their racist sass. We can say that.
Okay.
But how are they being racist? I don't get it.
It's probably some stuff that he's seeing online, maybe, but you know what I mean. I don't know what he's going through, but at the same time, it's who cares? Straight up,
for real, who cares?
Who gives a crap?
You're excited and celebrating, and you're all happy because you knocked Taylor Swift off the top chart for 3 days in a row.
That's good. That's really good
because you released an album on a Monday instead of a Tuesday or a Friday.
I don't know. I don't know what the people said to him. I just know that just who cares, man? Ignore him.
Go about your business.
So do you have the line that they were criticizing him for?
Let's see if we can find it.
Well, I got it right here. Well, I don't have the lines. I have a summary, but it was off the Goblin album. That was one of his first projects where he was just he was offensive. I'll give him that. But in case you forgot, Tron Cat was 20-year-old Tyler rapping about raping pregnant women, chronic masturbation, and igniting more domestic violence from Chris Brown.
Man, hey. I've never been a big fan. I think I heard one song that I like from him, but
I don't think I've heard any songs from him that I've liked.
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't either. I never liked Tyler until he started putting out this new album. Yeah. I think that it's gonna be one of the best of the year.
Yeah, man.
But also, it's consequences. You know, you're gonna face consequences. That's what this is about. Sure.
You can't say crazy stuff, man, and think
then
that
expect no one is going to come back and say, "Hey, you said this 10 years ago. Do you still believe that?"
Right. I mean, that's what happens, man. That's why you have to be careful what you're saying and the lyrics that you're putting out there and what you're putting forth. Even though you're a young kid, you still have to represent this when you get older. Yep. And that's why I tell people, man, sometimes you have to think about what you're doing before you do it, man.
That's
true. You can't
true.
just put the music out. But I'm shout out to Tyler for having a good album. That's dope. You know what I mean? For knocking her off the perch for a little while. I don't know enough about what he's talking about with the racism, but dude, there's gonna be some criticism when you're doing well. That's just how way it is. Yeah. And especially if you have a past where you've done some things that you're not too proud of.
And you've said some things that you really probably most likely regret saying.
Yeah, I mean, but hey, you have to take it in stride. Mm-hmm. You can't get upset and start complaining and going out there. You said it, so you have to stand up for that, and that's what you have to do. Unfortunately, man, you can come out, say, "Hey, I didn't really. I was young, I said a lot of crazy stuff."
Right.
Or you can just be like Snoop Dogg. Snoop. They asked him, "Hey, Snoop, how do you feel about all the things that you used to say in the '90s? Do you feel bad on him?" He's like, "Fuck no." I still believe that shit. I was like, holy shit, Bob. But yeah, hey, you stand with it, or
you change your mind.
That's what it's about.
That's
man.
the only things you could do. You either gonna double down and say, I believe what I said.
You can't complain because some people are never gonna forget the things that you did in history.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I can live my life the way I want to, straight as an arrow. But there's some people who gonna always remember me as the thug from back in high school. Doesn't matter what I do. I haven't been that in 30 something years. But some people, that's the way they gonna remember you. So you have to just take it in stride, man.
That's real.
Yeah. So
be who you are now. That's it.
That's all you can do. Just be who you are.
Accept consequences. Say I messed up, but I'm different now. I'm
different now. I'm living a different life. I haven't lived that way.
I've changed. I'm a
changed
person.
Yeah, I mean, he was a kid. He was 20. He was a kid. You know,
he did dumb stuff, man. We all did dumb stuff at that age.
Yeah.
Let's go to the last story of the week, man.
Is that a comic corner?
Comic book corner.
Comic book corner.
It was time to have an uncomfortable conversation that 100% of Tyler's success is because of misogyny, and he used jokes about rape and assault to get famous.
I don't understand why they bringing it up now, but whatever, man. Swifty's always
Y'all could have
out
did
there.
this when he first came out, when he was saying all these crazy things.
But he didn't pass Taylor up at that time.
Right.
Now he passed her up, so now it's a threat. You know, so people are weird, man. But welcome to back to Comic Book Corner. I'm Damon Dipling Ellison, and here with me, the fantastic Iysha Rowan. Today, we're diving into the witchy world of Agatha all along as we break down episodes 8 and 9, the finale. Iysha, this was one twisty road.
You're so right. There were so many twists, turns with this, especially down the witch's road. We finally got a full look into the scandalous ways of Agatha Harkness. From the shocking discovery about the witch's road to seeing Wiccan in his full glow. This finale packed a lot into 2 episodes.
Yeah, man, and let's not forget about Tommy. Looks like he might be making a return. But one thing's for sure, death is a huge part of the story. From here on out, with Agatha now as a ghost, the story's taking a supernatural spin that could go in a lot of different directions in the future, and we don't really know which show is going to be coming on.
Yep, that's so true. And the showdown with death was something else. After Agatha perishes in that battle, we find out that the Witch's Road was Billy's accidental creation. It turns out that he cast a hex without even realizing it during the Salem 7 attack. The eerie chants of the Witch's Road spell conjured up this pathway.
Right, and it all stemmed from Billy's imagination and the posters and trinkets he had in his room. It's an intense moment when we realize that his power led to so many deaths. He shows real remorse, and Agatha's lines, "I plan on killing them all anyway in my basement," adds a chilling layer. She's ruthless but also self-aware, which makes her such an interesting character.
I mean, you know, that's exactly. And what makes it so haunting is that not even Wanda's Westview hex had such deadly consequences.
Nah, it didn't.
Agatha is manipulative from the start, using the witch's road to lure other witches just to steal their powers. But it also backfires with the creation of a real magical pathway and her discovery of Billy's true nature.
That moment when Agatha realizes Billy is so much like Wanda was pretty heart-wrenching too. It adds layers to her motivations, and now that she's a ghost, it leaves us wondering how her story will continue. She may have lost her physical form, but the magic in her is in play. She's likely far from gone.
That's true. The finale leaves us with so many questions about where the story could go next. Will Agatha stay on the spectral guide? Or maybe she becomes a threat? And what's in store for Billy and Tommy?
Yeah, man. We'll be waiting to check it out, man. Definitely will be pinned to this. Until then, we want to thank you guys for joining the Comic Book Corner. Man, stay tuned to if you haven't watched Agatha all along, go check it out because I thought it was a really good show. It did start off a little slow the first episodes, but as you start getting into the show more and delving into the Witch's Road, it got much better.
Right.
I didn't like all the singing and all that stuff, but then you hear the history of the song, you're like, man, that's pretty cool.
When you find out the reason why the song came out, you was like, what?
Right, man. And it's all was a trick just to get people down there for Accutane and steal their powers, man. And it's pretty dope, man. You have to give props to them and what they were doing. And a lot of people had counted this show out because it was, based on women, and a lot of people, they ain't into the women and everything. For some reason, I don't know,
like
man.
to have women characters as
They're
the
weird.
main character.
They're weird.
And that's just
I don't get it.
misogynistic, if
I don't
you
know,
ask
man.
me.
I don't know. But stay tuned for more on Comic Book Corner as we break down all the latest twists in the world of magic and superheroes. Into next week. Peace out.
Holla, holla.
We're going to get up out of here too, man. We'll see you guys next week. I think, who do we have coming in?
Next week, we should have Christy Bill.
And she's from ABC 15, right?
Yes.
Yeah, man. She has a book that she's pushing and trying to get published and want people to take to get aware of. And we're going to be able to get that to you guys so everybody can find out our book and what she's doing. We really appreciate her for coming too. But like I said, she's from ABC 15, a journalist. And we're going to be supporting her and her book and what's coming on. And she'll be coming into the studio. We do have next week we'll have a special interview coming. We'll be talking to a Tucson artist who's a singer, up and coming singer. We'll be talking to her on the 9th.
7:30.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to go live, but we'll get it to you. We're going to get it to you guys so you can check it out. We don't do a lot of artists, but this artist, kind of piqued my eye. I wanted to talk to her about her career. But we appreciate you guys, man, everybody on TikTok. We appreciate you guys watching. If you are watching, make sure you send gifts, and we'll shout you out on the show when you send that. If you say any topics or comments, we will shout them out on the show. If you're commenting, we appreciate you guys watching and making the show more successful.
Yes,
we appreciate
definitely. And then don't forget to like, share, subscribe, follow, all that good jazz. We need it. Oh, and just so you guys know, if you do want to help us out, we are trying to build out our second recording space.
Yeah.
So if you want to go to Kickstarter, you can look us up under Habari Entertainment. That's Habari Entertainment.
Yeah.
And please donate. Help us out. Help us build that second room so we can bring you guys more visuals, more shows, more love.
Yeah, man. So I mean, that's a big deal. If you can help us out, if you pledge $25, we will send you a T-shirt.
It'll be a Habari Entertainment made T-shirt printed by yours truly.
So support, man. Support. We really appreciate it. And until next week, peace out.
Holla, holla.